Alright, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Bad news is it's rained in Colorado 23 out of the last 24 days. Good news is Colorado now looks like Ireland. Here, I'll get y'all a picture. So what's all that rain mean? Well, it means I'm still not riding trails, and that's a little frustrating. But make the most of it. I come out here where it's really green. I'm going to ride up this canyon right here, and it's usually brown, but right now it's really green, so I thought I'd make some good video. And while I'm doing that, I'll answer some mailbag questions. Make the most of this. Alright. Dear Hermit, do you have any place or a list of places you want to explore before you die? Signed, Troy Hoffer. Let's see, a place I'd like to explore. Alright, well before I get to that, this is what I'm talking about. This whole canyon right here, I usually don't ride down here this far, but this is all nice and green. It's usually brown, and I just thought it looked really cool, so it was worth getting out and making the video down here. And we'll probably see lots of motorcycles, because this canyon is just awesome to ride. The rocks make your engine sound really cool, and the scenery ain't bad either. Alright, places I'd like to explore. So top of the list for sure is Alaska. That's kind of one of those things that I'm trying to keep from being a someday. If you don't know what I mean by a someday, it's something I talked about in the first mailbag video a couple weeks ago. This is the third one, by the way. But the first mailbag video, you know, if there's something you want to do someday, it's probably never going to happen. So you got to like say, I'm going to do this at this time. And Alaska for me right now, it's bordering someday territory, but I need to get it away from being someday and make it, it's going to happen that day. So yeah, really want to explore Alaska, and probably a distant second is Yellowstone. I'd really like to go ride around in Yellowstone for a little while, or just, you know, just get off the beaten path, not do the touristy stuff in Yellowstone, just kind of like hike around by myself for a little while. I think that'd be awesome. Dear Hermit, where do babies come from? Yours truly, John Limon. Where do babies come from? Seriously? Your mama. Oh wait, you meant where do my babies personally come from? That's still your mama. Dear Hermit, if you could have any motorcycle you wanted but could only ride that one bike, what would you get? Yours truly, Jeep 198503. What motorcycle could I have if I could have any motorcycle? That's a tough one. Okay, so does it have to be a motorcycle that actually exists? Because I can definitely think of a motorcycle that doesn't exist that I'd want. Well, let's start with the ones that actually exist. I can only have one. See, that makes it tough, because if I could have like 2 or 3, then there's some KTMs that I'd love to have, but I'd want to have one to ride and then one to ride when that one's broken. So there has to be something else other than that. You know, I guess like maintenance and getting parts and all that stuff aside, some of the betas and the Husqvarnas are really cool. I'd really like to try them. I haven't ridden them yet, so I don't know for sure, but I think those might be the one bike I would ride if I could ride one bike. You know, like a beta that has more than 400 cc's. I got it, a bike that exists. If I could only ride one bike. At this moment in time, probably Daisy Chain. Yeah. Ministop's bike that he keeps stateside that got all dull factored. It's a WR250R that just looks awesome. We'll put a link in the description to one of the videos, or the series of videos where Dull Factor was hopping up that bike. Because I think WR250R is really a fantastic bike. It's just a little short on power, and it looks like they took care of that. So a bike that doesn't exist, it's kind of along the same lines, a WR450R. I think if they just made a 450 version of this bike right here, that would be awesome. That would be like the perfect bike for me. Now, if you're not real familiar with the WR250R, I get this question a lot. You might be asking, why don't you just get a WR450F and put lights on it? And just so we understand, the WR250R and the WR250F are nothing alike. A lot of people think the WR250R is a WR250F with lights on it. They're nothing alike. They don't share hardly any parts. The 250F has an aluminum frame. The 250R has a steel frame. The 250F has I think 4 valves, and the 250R has 5 titanium valves. So a totally different motor. Basically, it's a street bike motor put in a steel dirt bike frame. And you know, for example, the 250F, you're going to check the valves on that probably every 2,000 miles. That's the schedule for it. 250R, you check the valves on that like every 20,000 miles. So it's a much more durable bike, but it doesn't have nearly the power that a 250F does. Now, I think a great way to solve that problem would be displacement. So if they could just make the exact same basic motor as a 450 or even a 400, I think that would be fantastic, because everything else about the bike I really like. You know, it's a little bit heavy. You know, like a 250F's probably like 240, 260 pounds, somewhere in there, and a 250R is 290 pounds. But I'd be happy with like even a 320 pound bike if it was just as durable as this, had the same center of gravity, and more power. So yeah, I wish Yamaha would get their head out of their butt and make a WR450R. I think it'd sell like hotcakes, but it just haven't happened yet. You know, I don't even know what the closest thing to that is that exists. You know, like the KTM 530XC maybe, but even that bike is way more maintenance. So yeah, I don't know. It's really frustrating, but that's ultimately the answer to the question. If I could have one bike, you know, an existing bike or a non-existing bike, and that was the only bike I could ever ride, WR450R. So let's make that a wrap for this week, and next week y'all come back. There's going to be a couple of really deep, serious questions from the mailbag. I'm not usually inclined to answer them kinds of questions, but I figured why not? Somebody asked, I'll give it a shot. So y'all come back. If you subscribe, then you won't miss it. If you use the book face, or what's it called, Facebook, if you use that thing, then you can like the Facebook page. But by the way, Ned always tells me to bug you guys to like Facebook, and I never do. I don't like bugging people. I don't like Facebook, so I tell them to go get bent. But anyways, if you're so inclined, if you like Facebook and you use that thing, all of our videos get up there too, and you won't miss any if you go find the Facebook page and like us there. I think it's facebook.com/Hermit DaVlog. There's a link down in the description somewhere for it. Just go find it. Alright, y'all have a good week. Over and out.